This is Math 142, practice test number 2, problem number 5. We're supposed to solve this. And I noticed that I have both tangent and secant in here, and that I have a tangent squared. So what I'm going to try to do is get it down to so it only has one trig function in it in this case. And I know from Pythagorean identities that tangent squared is the same as secant squared minus 1. So secant squared x minus 1. Tangent squared is that. So I'm just going to replace tangent squared x with that. And then notice I'm subtracting secant of x, and that equals 1. Keep going from here. Subtract 1 from both sides to get it equal to 0. I have secant squared x minus 2 minus secant of x is equal to 0. And now this I have these three terms in here in a square, so it looks like it's in quadratic form to me. So let me put it in the right order. So secant squared, this thing, secant squared, so this thing squared minus that same thing, secant, minus 2 equals 0. And so now I have this that looks like a quadratic equal to 0. It's in that quadratic form. So again, this would be like the same as a squared minus a minus 2 equals 0, where a just happens to be secant squared. So if I were solving that, I just factor it. A minus 2 times a plus 1 equals 0. So that would mean a would be 2 or negative 1. I can do the same thing over here, just factor this. So this would be secant x minus 2 times secant x plus 1 equals 0. So that means this thing has to be a 0. So in order to make that a 0, they're multiplied together to give you 0. Secant of x would have to be 2, and here secant of x would have to be negative 1. And to keep going along this vein, I know that secant is 1 over cosine. So if secant's 1 over cosine, when I say secant is going to end up being 2, it's the same as saying cosine would be the reciprocal of this 2, 1/2. Again, that's because secant is 1 over cosine. And same thing here, cosine, if secant of x is negative 1, cosine of x would be negative 1 over 1, or 1 over negative 1, which is just negative 1. So now I just have to find when is cosine 1/2, when is cosine negative 1, and I might know those. I might use my calculator. I might look it up on my unit circle. Let me make a little space here. So cosine, as we know, associates with x. So what I want to know is when is x equal to 1/2, and it looks like it happens here, oops, and here. And then when is x equal to 1, and it looks like it only happens in one place, which would be, oh, I'm sorry, not 1, negative 1, which is right here. So it looks like x could be pi over 3, or pi, or 5 pi over 3. Yahoo!